nitong isang sibuyas na to, 2 putahin na yan. Kasi sobrang mahal ng sibuyas ngayon, kailangan magtipid.
Kinakaya dahil mahirap eh. Alam mo naman ang buhay ngayon dahil sa pandemya. Kaya tiis-tiis na lang.
Artificial shortage ito nangyari, no? Hindi tayo nagpasok. And kasi ang white onion is good for 3 months to 4 months cold storage lang. So, nauubusan talaga ng October.
From the nation's capital, all sides, all the time. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Gretchen Hall. The big story tonight.
Red onions are reportedly selling for as much as 300 pesos per kilo in some wet markets.
One industry group says that the Agriculture Department miscalculated on the local supply of white onions, which affected demand for red onions. Gio Robles with the big story.
There's no doubt that onions are a mainstay ingredient in Filipino cuisine. From adobo, sisig, and even sinigang, it wouldn't be complete without the vegetable. But as its price continues to increase, consumers and business owners are digging deeper into their pockets. In Metro Manila wet markets, prices of onion range from 280 pesos up to 300 pesos per kilo.
Kasi kulang ang supply po natin. Tsaka sa mahal ng gasolina natin. Pagbiyahe po, ang dami binabayaran dito po sa toll gate natin.
In an interview with the chiefs, SINAG blamed the Department of Agriculture for its supposed miscalculation on the supply of onions. The group said the decision not to import white onions this month resulted in more expensive red onions.
Artificial shortage ito nangyari, no? What happened is yung white onion na dapat magpasok tayo last month, hindi tayo nagpasok. And kasi ang white onion is good for 3 months to 4 months cold storage lang. So, nauubusan talaga ng October.
Even in Bongabo, Nueva Ecija, considered as the onion basket of the Philippines, supply of onions are running out. The planting of onion will only start next month and will be harvested on February. Aside from red onions, there's also an increase in egg prices. The Philippine Egg Board confirmed that a medium size of egg now costs 7 pesos a piece, up from 6 pesos 3 weeks ago. In Kamuning Market, a tray of egg can be bought from around 210 to 255 pesos depending on the size. The Bureau of Animal Industry explained that the increase is inevitable with the Christmas season fast approaching.
Sa kasalukuyan po ay stable po ang ating itlog. Pero tulad po ng ibang pagkain, inaasahan po na tataas ang demand sa itlog kasi ang bread, cakes at ibang pastries ay in demand sa mga handaan, lalo na po sa Pasko at Bagong Taon.
For News 5, Gio Robles, we are One News.
The Agriculture Department has imposed a temporary ban on imported poultry products from Japan, Hungary, and California due to the threat of bird flu. The ban covers imported domestic and wild birds as well as poultry, meat, chicks, and eggs. The DA also suspended import and sanitary clearances for these commodities. Shipments from Japan and Hungary that are in transit or in ports before the issuance of the poultry ban will be allowed entry as long as the products were slaughtered or processed before October 12. And to help us parse through these price increases, we have United Broilers Racers Association Chairman, Mr. Gregorio San Diego Jr. on the line. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the big story.
Good evening, Ed, at good evening din sa lahat ng taga-subaybay nyo.
Yes, sir. Sir, yung pagtaas ng presyo, ayon sa Egg Board, from 6 pesos ngayon 7 pesos, is that unusual or is that a seasonal thing?
Ganito, ipaliwanag ko lang. Iba-ibang lugar, medyo kakaiba presyo. Yung halimbawa, Central Luzon, Bulacan, Pampanga, Tarlac, ito yung maraming nagkasak na manok. So, marami yung bawat population ng layer dyan. Yan yung piso as of yesterday. Pero sa Batangas, ang presyo, medium yung sinasabi ko.
Opo.
620 ka-as yesterday. Oo. Nabawasan yung production ng itlog kasi since the last quarter of last year, nalugi na yung mga nasa layer business sa egg. Kasi nga, tumaas yung cost, mababa presyo na itlog. This past 2 weeks lang, medyo pumipick up ang presyo, maybe because of the season. Siyempre, marami magawa ng cake, yung leche plan, ganyan. Napaka-Christmas, kaya medyo tumaas ang presyo. Pero even at that price, hindi kami kumikita at production cost. Kasi napaka-mahal ngayon.
Sir, so is it mostly demand and inflationary effects? And tataas pa po ba ito given that we have a poultry ban from products with Japan, Hungary, and Cambodia?
Iba naman yun, kasi hindi naman tayo nag-import ng fresh eggs. Japan, we do not import chicken. Sa Hungary naman, kung nag-import man tayo yung pang pre-raise, sa California naman, kukontak ng product California. So, so it's more on the broiler, not really the egg, ang naapektuhan nito mga bana ito. Of course, ano din kami dyan, tama yan, kasi nga, even the egg, the layers, naapektuhan itong sakit ng bird flu na galing sa ibang bansa.
Sir, balikan ko lang kanina kasi there was a time medyo choppy kayo so hindi ko masyado maintindihan yung prices na binibigay ninyo. I understand na sinabi po nyo, magkakaibang presyo sa iba-ibang probinsya. Pero as a general rule po ba, lahat sila ay tumaas? Magkakaiba lang yung pagtaas sila or may tumaas at may bumaba?
Hindi.
On average po, ano po?
Medyo tumaas kasi nga medyo pick up yung demand because of the season.
Yes, sir.
Siyempre yung Christmas, gagawa ng mga cakes, yung
Yes,
mga
sir.
kakanin like leche plan. Also, halimbawa sa Central Luzon, kukunti ang production dyan dahil maraming nagkasakit, kumukuha sila from Batangas. Kaya magka-catch up din siguro yung presyo ng Batangas in a while, in several days.
Sir, Pablo lang, sir. Pero sir, as a general rule, kasi mahirap nga na pag-usapan natin, iba-ibang lugar, iba-ibang probinsya. Pero I suppose ang magandang gawin natin, kung maaaring natin gawin, on the average, ano pong aasahan natin by December? Pagsapit po ng Pasko, ang laki ng demand niyan para sa itlog, dahil Pasko nga naman. Anong inaasahan nating pagtaas ng presyo kung meron man?
Malamang tumaas ang presyo kasi kukunti production. Actually, hindi masyado yung pagtaas ng demand, kundi kukunti ngayon yung production ng egg. Kasi marami ngayon tumigil. Marami yung nalugi at dahil mababa yung presyo for almost a year at marami din naman yung nagkasakit. So natigil sila sa operation nila.
Okay, sir, matanong ko lang, ito nga pong bird flu, apektado po ba tayo? At kapag nakapasok po ito sa atin, are the eggs affected also? How are chicken prices doing?
Actually, nandito na yung bird flu. Medyo matagal-tagal na. Unfortunately hindi pa nasusolusyonan ng ating gobyerno para talagang matigil na yung sakit. Yun nga, nagkukulang din ng Department of Agriculture sa concentration sa amin kung ano magandang gawin at nakikita namin magiging solusyon sa problema natin. Yung bird flu affects both broiler at saka layers. Sakit ng manok ito Also, yung mga itik na nagkakasakit din ng bird flu, tinatama din ng bird flu. So, yun ang namin hanggang ngayon. Magkaiba kasi yung data Ang BAI is supposed to provide us the data kung ilan talaga yung mga nagkakasakit. Hindi naman updated at saka parang hindi tama yung sinasabi nila na number of chicken na nagkakasakit. Kasi may mga alam kaming mga parts na nagkakasakit, wala naman doon sa record nila.
Sir, Pablo lang, sir. I understand, again, like I said, I understand what you're saying, na iba-ibang lugar, iba-ibang presyo. Pero moving forward, follow up to my question a while ago, pagdating ng Pasko po, is it possible for you to average kung magkanong itataas ng presyo ng itlog?
Actually, hindi kami nagdidikta ng presyo ang consumers.
Yes, sir.
Kasi may mga parang threshold yan May mga presyo lang na kaya nilang bilhin. Pagka tumaas pa doon sa presyong yun, tutumol naman kami. Hindi na kukunti ang bibili ng itlog. Parang commodity, ganun din sa manok. Pagka may inabot ka ng certain threshold ng presyo, hindi mo na maitaas kasi pag tinaas mo pa, hindi na bibili ng tao. So talagang consumer din yung nagdidictate ng presyo. Kaya lang, ang totoo lang dito, yung presyo namin sa farm gate, hindi nare-reflect sa retail prices kasi medyo malayo yung presyo sa retail. Malaki ang taas ng presyo sa retail kaysa sa farm gate. Both for chicken at saka sa egg yan. Ang broiler ngayon, ang highest price namin sa farm, 126 pesos per kilo. Pero for your information, bago nag-typhoon pa egg, it went as low as 85 pesos per kilo sa mga farms namin. Pero makikita mo naman yung price range sa retail, ang pinakamababa yata nito, 170, even nung 85 kami per kilo. Pero ngayon, ang monitor namin, 190, 195 per kilo. Ibig ko na sabihin, ang itinaas, ang pagbabago sa price sa amin, sa farm gate, 50 pesos, ang difference between 85 to 126. Pero yung sa retail naman, ang pagbago lang ng presyo, 35. So, hindi talaga nare-reflect yung presyo sa farm gate sa retail.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, Sir Gregorio San Diego of Ubra. Right after the break, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources says the administrative order banning the sale of imported fish in wet markets could still be amended. We'll be discussing this with Fernando HICAP, National Chairperson of Fishers Group Pamalakaya. That and more when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
So I've been almost 13 years in Shanghai, and I've never seen anything like it. I was just over around the corner at Wulumuchi Road. Thousands of people protesting China's COVID restrictions, also protesting people that have been arrested over the last couple of days. Demonstrations were seen in other major cities, from Beijing to the northwest Xinjiang region, in opposition to China's zero-tolerance COVID policies. The trigger came after virus restrictions were blamed for hampering rescue efforts in a deadly fire in Xinjiang last week. Hundreds of residents convened to mourn the dead, lighting candles and holding white papers, a symbolic protest against censorship. And in terms of trying to understand why frustration is boiling over, early in November, the Chinese government announced some easing measures, a virus playbook, 20 guidelines that were actually used in order to ensure that local government officials were using targeted measures to enforce the COVID-0 regime. And now, a few weeks later, it seems like we're back to square one. So they've been backtracking on a lot of these guidelines that the national government had ordered. China hasn't publicly responded to the growing unrest, but the state-backed People's Daily reiterated on Sunday the need to stick to COVID-0. China is in a difficult position. Xi and top leaders are unwilling to endure the fatalities that ensue when even the most vaccinated nations open up.
Mark Zuckerberg is in the fight of his life. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has lost 3/4 of its market value since September 2021. It's facing a bunch of issues. The economy is hurting the advertising market, where it makes 98% of its money. Apple is meanwhile making it harder to make money from mobile advertising, and TikTok is hoovering up the young users that advertisers so love. The pivot to the metaverse, as the company likes to call augmented and virtual reality, was supposed to be the solution to Zuck's problems, but so far it's only accentuating them. Investors aren't happy at the tens of billions of dollars that the company is spending on unproven tech. The challenge is Apple, which may have a significant advantage over Zuck and co. To make any hardware platform appealing, you need to have lots of amazing apps. Take the iPhone, whose sales only went stratospheric after 2011 when the App Store was introduced. And to have amazing apps, you need to have lots of developers. Apple has, by its own reckoning, more than 30 million registered developers, and it's been giving them the tools and encouraging them to build or...
You're watching The Big Story here on One News. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources says the order banning pink salmon, pampano, and other imported frozen fish in wet markets may still be amended. This after some senators blasted the order for being anti-poor. Gio Robles is back with this report.
Starting December 4, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources will confiscate pompano, pink salmon, and other imported fish products in wet markets. That's why vendors like Arlene have no choice but to make sure that they could sell off their entire stock.
Mga suke, pampano, 3 piraso na lang, hanggang teres na lang yan. Wala na tayong mabebenta niya, wala na tayong makukuhanan. Pinagbawal na sa amin.
But local vendors found an ally in some senators who slammed the BFAR for the delayed implementation of the Fisheries Administrative Order 195. In his privileged speech yesterday, Senator Rafi Tulfo asked the BFAR why it took them decades to implement FAO 195, which was released in 1999. He also questioned why the order exempts institutional buyers, including hotels and restaurants, suggesting that the issuance is anti-poor.
Pagsisibakin niya siguro yung mga tao dyan sa BFAR, marami sa kanila siguro, sa sobrang katamaran, baka may kalyo ng mga puwit nila sa kaupo. At siguro nagsilakihan yung kanilang mga tiyan dahil sa kanilang katamaran.
For its part, the Bureau says that while it respects the senator's sentiments, it insists that the order must be followed, at least for the meantime. But the BFAR notes it's still possible for it to be amended.
Hindi naman po imposible na hindi ito maamyendahan, ano po. Pero it has to undergo the process being specified by law na kailangan dumaan po ito sa consultation with the National Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Management Council.
But some consumers found it unacceptable that they can only buy imported fish from restaurants and hotels.
Basta bahala sila, basta ako bibili. Ay hindi bakit? Mayaman lang bang pwedeng kumain yan?
Senator Francis Tolentino believes the ban is discriminating against consumers and wet market vendors.
Nakakapagtaka, bakit ngayong binan yung poultry, ito namang nabanggit nyo, kagaya ng pampano, Madam President, Your Honor, pinagbabawal din na makarating sa ating mga consumers. So hindi kaya, hindi lang, I agree with you, Your Honor, discriminatory, hindi kaya pang gigipit na talaga ito doon sa ilan nating mga consumers ngayong Kapaskuhan, lalo na yung mahihirap.
In its defense, the BFAR says that this is not the first time such policies were implemented.
May mga similar actions or measures po na ginawa in the past pertaining to the implementation of this particular policy.
For News 5, Gio Robles, we are One News.
And to share their insights on the scheduled ban on selling imported fish products in wet markets, we have with us on the show Fernando HICAP, the chairperson of the Fishers Group Pamalakaya. He's joining us live via Zoom. Magandang gabi, Mr. HICAP, and welcome to The Big Story.
Hi, magandang gabi, Ed and Christine.
Yes, sir.
Magandang gabi po.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, ang sinasabi kasi ng BFAR, itong ban na ito sa pampano at sa salmon, bilang proteksyon sa mga mangingisda. Well, I understand, pagdating sa salmon, talagang wala naman tayong salmon industry. Pero totoo ba na ito'y talagang para sa mga mangingisda natin, our local fishermen? Does this benefit you?
Actually, ang panawagan niya namin talaga totally ban ng lahat ng mga imported na isda sa ating bayan. Ang dami nating isda at di natin kailangan mag-import. Ang kailangan lang talaga ayusin natin yung pamamahala, pangangasiwa ng ating pangisdaan. At the same time, regarding dito sa issue ng pampano, marami rin tayong pampano, At actually, meron ng aquaculture tayo dyan at sinukulture na yan. At maaaring yung supply, Kaya nating i-develop yung supply natin locally. Kailangan lang talaga yung pag-focus, At malaking epekto rin ito doon sa ating mga local produce, ng ating mga aquaculture na pampano kung merong pumapasok ng mga imported. Kaya ang dapat talaga to taliban ng importation, ang kailangan talaga na dapat ulan ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Marcos ay yung pagpapaunlad ng ating pangisdaan, industriya natin para manatili yung sufficient supply, sustainable sa ating fishing supply sa ating mamayan.
Sir, yun nga po, ang sabi nila, itong pag-i-import po ay para mabalanse yung mga presyo, lalong-lalo na po kapag close fishing season. Ano po ang proposal po ninyo? Saan po tayo pwedeng kumuha ng pampano at saka pink salmon if ang proposal niyo po is wag mag-import totally?
Meron po tayong aquaculture na nung pampano. Ayon sa mga kaibigan natin na nagko-culture, malaking epekto sa kanila kapag pumasok itong mga imported, di ba? Kasi mas mura naman yung imported. Pero doon sa quality, mas maganda, no? Yung local produce. Regarding dito sa sa importation natin talaga, ang kailangan talaga natin, totoo, ng salmon wala tayo, pero kung sa ibang klaseng isda, no? Sapat pa yung ating pangisdaan. Kaya kung mag-import tayo, at ito na, no, yung karanasan natin, napakatagal ng panahon, yung import liberalization, no, na pinapatupad sa atin, nakakabahala kasi lumalaki yung volume, no, ng ating ini-import. At ang matinding epekto nito, siyempre, yung patuloy na pagbagsak, no, ng kalidad at supply ng isla ng ating lokal. Kapag nangyari yun, imported na lang yung mangingibabaw tulad ng ngayon, no, yung onion na naranasan natin, yung mga karne, matutulad din tayo ngayon, no, sa mayroong crisis talaga at hindi na maampat, no, yung patuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng mga imported na produkto kapag wala na yung local produce. Kaya ang pinaka-best talaga lokal yung ating paunlarin at pangasiwaan na para tuloy-tuloy. Kasi sapat na sapat naman yung supply natin, napakalawak ng ating dagat at mayroon pa tayong mga inland water. Kailangan na, may mga technology na rin tayo at lumalaki, no, yung aquaculture natin.
Pero sir, sa FAO 195, pinapayagang magbenta ng imported fish yung mga tinatawag na institutional buyers. Kaya ang sabi tuloy ng iba, baka discriminatory ito dahil yung mga nagpupunta ng hotel, sila lamang pwedeng bumili. Ano po ang inyong pananaw?
Mas naman dito ang dapat ay kasuhan, no? Yung mga nagbibenta sa wheat market. Kasi ano nga yun violation dito sa PAO 195. Ang problema, hindi kinakasunod. Actually, yung importation natin, no, ng isda, yung pagbibenta sa wheat market natin, hindi lang sa panahon ng cruise season of fishing ban na sinasabi, naging dahilan kung bakit tayo nag-import. Whole year buong taon maraming dumadagsa ang mga imported na isda sa ating palengke, no? Kaya yun yung nakakabahala, no? Ang kailangan diyan dapat parusahan, no, yung mga importer na lumalabag dito sa mga patakaran. Regarding dito sa bakit ito lang yung pinapayagan ng batas, actually meron din pangangalaga sa ating mga consumer. Kasi yung handling talaga ng mga imported na isda, kailangan talaga dapat naka-storage lagi yan. Kasi yung nakakabahala nga, sabi ng mga doktor, no? Yung mabilis na maanahan niya ng merkubyo at makakasama sa ating mga kabayan. Kaya hindi pwede yan doon dito sa wheat market natin, no? Pero ang pinaka-the best, huwag tayong mag-import kasi marami tayong produkto at lumalaki na rin yung volume, no, ng pampano sa ating bayan.
Okay, maraming salamat, Pamalakayan National Chairperson Fernando HICAP. More stories after the break. Keep it here in One News.
CIMラボは2001年から活動している、アートコレクティブです。いろんな専門家が集まって実験をする場所という意味で、CIMラボを作りました。
Those experts range from international artists and architects to programmers and mathematicians seeking to navigate the convergence of art, science, tech, and the natural world.
大学院に行きながら始めたんですね。で、大学の専門は、サイエンス、特に物理や数学が、専門でした。今みたいにレンズで世界を切り取ると、画面が境界面となって、自分の身体と切り取った世界に境界ができてしまう。もしくは視点が固定されたり、フォーカスが生まれる。
To explore what it means not to be constrained, Toshiyuki opened the world's first digital art museum in Tokyo, aptly called Team Lab Borderless. And he says advancements in technology has been the key to greater freedom of expression. From experimenting with interactive installations to having visitors step into water, Team Lab has wowed people all over the world in more than 50 cities.
物質とくっつくと、変化そのものを表現することが難しくなったり、物質から解放されることによって、変化することやその時間そのものも表現できるようになったと思っているんです。
One of its most tucked away museums can be found in a forest in southern Japan. Team Lab's Digitized Nature project explores how digital tech can turn nature into art without harming it.
あの場所はすごい大昔からね、森で、その江戸時代に一部がお庭になったような場所なんだけども。
You're still watching the big story here in One News. In commemoration of the 159th birth anniversary of Andres Bonifacio, President Bongbong Marcos called on Filipinos to honor Bonifacio by being law-abiding citizens. Marcel Halili with the story.
Keep Andres Bonifacio's legacy of heroism and patriotism alive. That was the message of President Bongbong Marcos as he led the commemoration of the 159th birth anniversary of the father of the Philippine Revolution on Wednesday morning. Marcos, along with other officials, conducted the flag raising and the wreath-laying ceremony at the Bonifacio Monument in Caloocan.
Tungkulin natin bilang mga Pilipino na panatilihing buhay ang diwa ng kanilang mga layunin at siguruhing mapayapa, malaya at masagana ang ating sambayanan.
In his speech, the president also acknowledged the contribution of the so-called modern-day heroes.
Ating mga doktor, mga nurse, mga sundalo, mga pulis, OFW, at ang bawat Juan at Juana na buong pusong naglilingkod para sa kapwa. Pinapakita nila na ang bawat isa sa atin ay may angking kakayahan na makagawa ng
A wreath was also offered by the local officials of Manila at the Bonifacio Monument in Tutuban, where the father of Katipunan was born. Bonifacio's great-grandchild Emilio Distrito represented the clan during the ceremony.
Isinasalaysay ko sa mga apo ko na mga bata pa na itaguyod nila ang kanilang lolo.
While simultaneous commemoration were done in different locations, the group of former presidential candidate Calio de Guzman conducted a protest rally. Their call is to increase the minimum daily wage of ordinary workers to 1,100 pesos as a result of the inflation rate. They also criticized the alleged lavish lifestyle of President Marcos.
Imbes na tugunan yung krisis, yung mga manggagawa wala nang makain, nagugutom. Si Bongbong Marcos, ganun pa ang ginagawa niya.
The labor group hopes that the wage increase will happen before the end of the year. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
For the big story in sports, it has been a busy past 2 weeks for the PBL, UAAP, and the PBA as they near the final stages of their respective tournaments. Mobile journalist Bel Gregorio gives us a rundown of all the latest happenings in this report.
Teams shipped to the 2022 PVL Reinforced Conference Championships have been signed, sealed, and delivered. The finals will be between the defending champions, the Petro Gazz Angels, and the finals first-timers, Cignal HD Spikers. For the first time since 2018, the Creamline Pool Smashers will not be making a finals appearance. They'll have to face Cherry Tigo in a best-of-3 battle for bronze that will start tomorrow. Kicking off after that will be the first game of the best-of-3 finals between Petro Gazz and Cignal HD. In the UAAP, the first ticket to the women's basketball finals has been booked by the 6-time defending champions, the NU Lady Bulldogs. The Bulldogs dominated Ateneo in their last semis game, 83-64. A do-or-die match in the MOA Arena on Sunday will dictate who between UST or La Salle will face NU. On the other side of things, LaSalle kept their Final Four hopes alive as they escaped UST in a close game, 77-72. Since Ateneo beat Adamson 66-61, a face-off between LaSalle and Adamson will dictate who will land in the last spot of the Final Four. PBA fans, buckle up, because there are a few steps left, then we will be seeing a new but very familiar face in the Gilas roster. The House of Representatives has approved the naturalization of Ginebra import Justin Brownlee. He will just need to repeat the same process in the Senate and have the bill signed by President Bongbong Marcos before he becomes a Filipino. Mobile journalist Bella Gregorio, we are One News.
The most important piece of news there is that Cignal made it to the finals of the PBL.
Volleyball league?
Oo, volleyball. Tapos Ateneo din nanalo kanina. Just wanted to say.
Okay, that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more in-depth analysis. I'm Ed Lingao.
The Big Star is also available via Cignal Play app. Make your free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. I'm Gretchen Ho. Stay safe, Philippines, and happy holidays. We're now down to our last 25 days before Christmas.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.